So I just wanted to give you an update on exactly where we're at with your boat and all that, because all this stuff is really time consuming. So one of the things here you can see, I'm going to try and get this stuff in the glare so you can see it. That little part right there, that's a gel coat blister. So that just kind of gets filled in and faired in. Then you come down to here, and now you can see in the glare there, see where it's buckled and it's ripped and all that stuff. So fixing that can be really tedious. However, and there's not much to work with there because there's no core. So it's just a fiberglass and carbon there, and it's very, very difficult to get that right back into perfect shape without like having some sort of a little bulge perhaps. You never know. See how it goes. But then you see there's another one right over here. Yeah, right there. So more than likely it would paint like from center screen out to the bow. Now you might have noticed that the boat is like way cleaner. So we did do the initial cleaning, and I may actually try and hit it with the wheel one more time with a different thing to really get it bright. I'll try a section out, and if it doesn't look noticeably different, then we'll halt on that. So here you can see is that spot we talked about before, and you know, we'll fix that. And really when you look in the glare there, you can see how that bulge, see it goes right up into the deck. So you know, fixing all that is difficult. So not difficult, but it's time consuming. So when you go to paint this, you got to buff a blend around it. And you know, we do that all the time. It's just, again, time consuming. So yanked out the tracks because the tracks were pitted, and you can see here there's two sets of holes right there, center screen. So whatever the original holes were, for some reason the tracks were taken out and then you know, repositioned. So more than likely we'll have to play around with that a little bit, because I'm pretty sure that screws into just a piece of wood that's embedded into the seat deck. So maybe all these holes are no good anymore because they were siliconed in. Now here you can see, like with the initial cleaning, that would not come off. However, that's the footprint of the rigger, and I'm going to show you the rigger. So now here you can see the other footprint, and that's just the rust like crazy because of the unlike materials. So now onto the stern of the boat, and you can see it came out, you know, really nice. So to minimize video time here, I actually put these riggers on top of each other. It looks kind of funny, but nevertheless, you can see, I mean, they cleaned up somewhat, and we're going to try one more thing to get them super white. But now we're just eating into the gel coat. So now, like, there's the base of one that you can see, and still dirty. So I'm thinking that maybe just for time to just paint these, and just paint them, like not do a surface prime or anything like that. We'll just shoot them, and it is what it is when it's done. So now here you can see where one of those slots for the pin, and you can see those little cracks around there, and that's stress cracks in the gel coat. It's not that big of a deal. I felt everything in here pretty solid. I'm guessing that you're not going to be changing the spread on this very much, but you can see the core that's in there. That's that like raggedy stuff towards the top of the slot and then on the middle of the slot, and that's all like dried out. So again, like I was saying, we're going to paint a little bit, like right there, center screen on the lower rigger, that little crack, painting that just magnifies it. So this is the typical of the other one where I mean, that just rust is like so thick I can't get that off, and the inside of that looks pretty good. And then yeah, well, that, no need to state the obvious there. So you can see how rusted and everything they are, and they were the stern ones, so we could just take the bolt off to get them off, but we got to get them out of there next. So more than likely the paint, I guess we would have to prime these, but then prime it, Scotch-Brite it, paint it, and then be done with it. Because we got to order new pins, new oar locks for this anyway. So now, like right back here, I mean, that little chip, I mean, we can just do a little touch up on that. If I were to try to make that perfect, which I can, it takes time. Takes time. That's the recurring theme on every boat repair job we do. So then also, you know, we can only get with the buffers and everything in here so deep to get the dirt out. But we're going to try and give this another shot at certain areas here. And then you can see like there's a little chip in the gel coat there, and seriously, to fix that, you know, we'll just do a touch up on that for you, because it's not like there's a blank check on this guy. We want to keep the cost down as much as we can for you. But I know that you want to have a nice boat that you don't have to do anything to. So now onto the hull here, and I think we have pointed out before there was a bunch of scratches up here on the cutwater, but you can see that they've all buffed out pretty nicely. I mean, there's still scratches there, but it's shiny again. And I mean, we can fix that and paint like the nose, but I really don't think you need to do that. But if you want, we will. And because we have to paint this spot here where the gel coat is worn off, so it was probably rubbing against something. And then as you can see, the boat, you know, is nice and clean and came up again. See right there in the ledge, there's a little gel coat blister. Of course, we'll touch that up for you. You know, there's lots of scratches and stuff on the bottom here, but that's kind of par for the course and really totally acceptable. I would just leave it that way. A little stain there, we're going to try and get that, rid of that. And then we're going to get new bolts for the baler there. And then we're not going to mess around with this too much. We'll put the fin in it and silicone around it. Nice, it'll look nice. And then we're going to have to, you know, do this repair, because that's a really deep gouge into the boat. It's down into the substrate, and quite frankly, it actually looks like there's a little crack in it that could go right through, so you could wind up like sinking.